I hope everyone's doing great out there. This is Calvin Hendryx-Parker with 6 Feet Up. I'm joined by my friends at Eighth Light today for an incredible Battle of the Bots webinar. So we're going to go ahead and I'll share my screen. This is going to be, I was telling them earlier, very, if you're familiar with the term internet ugly, it's going to be raw. It's going to be like real. We're going to be demoing live stuff with terminals and editors. So don't be too scared. Feel free to jump into the comments with questions. We've got Juanita and Pia are going to be on, like watching for questions. I assume Doug can also help field any kind of questions and tell us, like Travis and I, that we should make sure we answer some of those things. Again, I'm Calvin Hendryx-Parker. I'm CTO of co-founder of 6 Feet Up. We are a Python and AI for Good agency that helps impactful leaders solve hard problems. That's one of our favorite things to do. Travis, why don't you give a quick intro?
Yeah, thanks, Kelvin. Travis Frisinger, Technical Director of AI at Eighth Light. We're a global software consultancy.
Awesome. Thanks. We're going to jump right in because we got a lot to cover. I've got some kind of front matter slides, but really, like, if you're not out there using agentic AI coding agents yet, you should be. They're your new pair programming partners. I think a lot of folks may be using it just as a chat GPT or Anthropic and Claude, like for your just kind of asking it code questions, but it can do so much more. This GitHub AI software survey shows that like more than 97% of the respondents are showing that they have been using AI tools in their work. So it is a rapid evolution. I don't know if we've seen anything this fast, not even the kind of internet boom compares to what we're seeing now. So I think it's definitely something to pay attention to. Those AI agents are definitely transforming how we build software, but choosing the right tool can be the difference between frustration and flow. And we'll probably show some frustration and flow today during the demos. But we're going to find out which one delivers for real world developers. So stay tuned and hold tight. We've got some contenders in the ring. I'm going to cover Aider and Goose, and then Travis and I are going to tag team on Claude Code, and then Travis, you're going to cover Cursor and Devin. We're going to try and time box them to about 10 minutes apiece so we can get through all of them and hopefully answer some questions for folks as well. And hopefully get everybody just enlightened as to what state of this systems are and where we're headed in the future. I think the key bit here is there's a lot of definitions flying around out there and a lot of ways people define things differently. And for us, AI agents is a system, and basically it's going to perceive its environment through AI and tools. So it is not only just ask a large language model a question, get back an answer. These models have been now enabled for tool usage, and you'll see that as we do the demos. They can make decisions autonomously, and they can actually act on those on your systems. Can be scary if you give it the rights and abilities to rm minus rf slash. It would totally go forward and do that if you said yes, but it can take actions to achieve those specific goals. So if you were working on a software project, it can introspect the project, it can look at what it's doing, it can then run specific commands to, for example, compile resources and artifacts for the project, it can make code changes, and then it can learn from those interactions. It's adding the output for those pieces back into its context window so that it knows when something was successful or have a failure. And then you can chain these operations all together, obviously. Some of these things can go for a long time, depending on the kind of task you have asked of these various agents. They do have tool capabilities, like I mentioned. They can do file systems, yeah, operations. They can actually execute code to the web search, for example, or do code execution. One thing to keep in mind, and we're going to be talking about MCP, the Model Context Protocol. If you're not careful, it can exfiltrate information off your system. If you are using untrusted prompts and things are coming into your system you're unsure of, just like with anything else, you need to be aware, kind of eyes wide open, of what's going on in there. It can plan and reason about complex tasks. You've got reasoning models out there that are capable. You've got code editing models out there that are very capable. And sometimes you can combine them into the same tool. And you can actually keep that session going across multiple sessions on your system. So that's one of the things that's nice with these agents is that you can basically have a long running session over many days, and it's like you never left their side. And then they have this self-improvement through feedback loops. Some of them will try extra hard to try and solve a problem and burn through a lot of tokens. So another thing to consider is like the various kind of tokens that are out there and how you are burning through them in your various agent tools. Travis, you want to cover this slide on the agents continued here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kelvin. So I think it's important to kind of delineate the styles, as I'm calling it, for agents. You could think of agents in maybe two main camps, kind of like the IDE or CLI, the personal kind of side of things, or what I would call the autonomous. Now, cursor, as we'll see in a little bit, is kind of blurring the line between some of these. But the IDEs, an agent, it's integrated into your workflow. It's there. GitHub Copilot, we're not reviewing it, but that'd be an example. Cursor would be an example. There's another variety there, CLI side of things, where you're dealing with terminal. It feels maybe a step backwards if you've grown up with IDE based development. But if you're a bit more old school, it's kind of just a back to what it used to be. Uh,
Travis, I feel seen.
Absolutely. I like to use them both. I like to blend the two personally. Different use cases there. And the more interesting emergent one here, I would say, is the autonomous, or I would say more semi-autonomous type of approach. And Devin's really a firm contender in that category, with Cursor kind of having some recent developments as well.
Awesome.